Flies with hurl heads are, I think, probably unique to North Country spiders. There are two which are great favourites of mine. One's the winter brown and the other one is dark needle. In North Country spiders they either use peacock hurl or magpie tail hurl. Now that's certainly unique. And it's one with magpie tail hurl which I'm going to tie for you next. And this is Edmonds and Lee's famous dark needle. I've used it more or less all my fly fishing life. It's a great pattern when needles are on in September, October time. It says wings. Hackled with a brownish feather taken from where the hinder part of a starling's wing joins the body. So it's quite unusual feather is this. Then in brackets it says, there are only about 4 of these on each side of the bird. And then as a footnote it says, or with a brownish feather taken from the back of a swift. How many of us today see dead swifts at side of the road or swifts in fly tying catalogues? So obviously you can get loads and loads of starling skins, and I'm going to show you. I'll show you in detail where this feather's taken from, and just as Edmonds and Lee say, there are only about 4 on each wing, so one skin's going to get you 8 flies. Okay, that's probably enough. The rest of the dressing is, and here you might have a problem because it uses quite a rare Pearsall's thread, one that everybody's looking for today, and that's the orange-brown 6B, which is a bit like Rocking Horse doodah, and everybody's scouring the country looking for 6B. It's one of these rarities, and if you can't find 6B, you could, well, it's risky, but you could try 6A and just try colouring it with a marker pen. The shade itself, when I look at it, I think it's a sort of a snuff brown colour. It's either a snuff brown colour or a cinnamon brown colour. I don't see much orange in it. It's like a light cinnamon brown. So that's the one we're going to do now. Great pattern, great favourite of mine. And it's a fairly tricky little tie. There's 1 or 2 little nuances to it. So, specs off, size 16, L3A, my favourite spider hook, nice big gape. Jump down the barb. And first job, as usual, wax the thread. Three or 4 wipes should do. Keep the wax moving. So the first thing to do, I have to this time make a thread catch. A 3 or 4 turn lock over. Make sure it's on. Take off the waist. Now come to your magpie tail. This is a full tail, and give yourself a chance. Go for these longer hurled, the longer hurled side of a feather, and take off a little clump. And I haven't counted the fibres. It's about, I don't know, a cocktail stick wide, something probably less than that. Tie it in near the tip. And then if you've tied it in a bit too far back, you can just slide it through a little bit and lock down. And then come back with your thread just about enough distance to make a hurl head, and now tie in your hackle. And the hackle, as the book says, there are about 4 on either side, and that's the 4 there. So take one out, stroke the fibres back, and tie this in. Now the book doesn't say any particular side to the front of the eye of the hook, so we have to assume that any side will do. Make sure it's in firm. It's only a small hackle, so you'll be playing down with your fingertips on this. Snip off the waist. So now hold your feather back like that and bring your tying thread to the front of it. Give them a bit of a twist and hook on your hackle pliers. And now twist. Just hold that out of the way, and then wrap on to make this little black herl head. Then come round with your thread and just catch it down with 2 turns. And then you can snip off and leave a little butt which you're going to bury. Hook on your hackle pliers. And now wind your hackle right up to the back of the herl head, doing the little chevron trick. And when you get to the last turn, stroke the fibres forward and bring the butt of the hackle, the bit that's in your hackle pliers, through the wound hackle and catch down at the back of your hackle. So you've given it a little bit of a forward kick. It's a short hackle, it's only about 3/4 inch long. Search in with your blade and trim off the waist. And trim off the waist herl. So now I've got a herl head with a hackle that starts right from the back of it. You don't see a gap. There's no herl head, then thread wraps, and then more hackle. It all merges into one another. And now start tying down. All these will crush down. All bundle up. There they go, look. Observe the body length rule. That's about long enough. Now work back and make the usual 2-layer body. Going on nice. Now you might just have to do a little bit more crushing down there and there. And then at that stage there, I come straight in. See, the body's got a nice little taper to it. Come straight in with the usual 2-finger whip finish. Working in at the back of the hackle. Voila. Stroke forward, trap, pull through, pull, pull, pull. You get a little bump there at the back. Quite frankly, I don't worry about it. And I can tell you something, fish don't worry about it either. And then deftly go in and trim off. And all I have to do now is just do a bit of primping. Push the fibres back into place. All you did was you didn't rupture the fibres, you just pushed them forward to give yourself a bit of working space. That's one hell of a killing pattern in October. I would not have one off my leader in October. If you fish wherever small stoneflies are active, emerging, crawling to the shore, flying over the surface to egg lay, the little needles, they're found all over America, are small needle flies. I wouldn't hesitate to use this in any country.